One. Hi again, everybody, and welcome to this edition of First Person, again brought to you by the Crystal Room in Troy. 552-7680, the phone number to call Jessica Brown and her staff to plan your next event. Their mantra there is, the event's perfected, you're going to like. The amenities, the staff, the location, the price, everything concerning your next event, big or small. Again, 552-7680 on West Market Street, across from the new Kroger Plaza in Troy. Call the Crystal Room for your next event. It is the middle of high school baseball season, but it's always football season in the state of Ohio for the fact of interest and the fact that it's so much a part of our culture. And our guest this week is a new football coach here in Covington. At Covington High School, it's Ty Cates, the pride of Arcanum, Ohio, and once an Arcanum Trojan, and Jason Schondelmeyer, and those were good days. Congratulations on your opportunity, and thanks for, I know you came back over here tonight to talk with us, and I appreciate you taking the trouble.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You know, one of the things that intrigues me about your situation, I talked to an old football coach several years ago who had been in his school for 30 years, and I said, what's the secret to longevity? And he looked at me and he says, take the right job the first time. Make sure you're in the right place, because he says, that's really important, to make sure you get the football coaching or the head coaching job that you really want. Talk to me a little bit about your decision relevant to Covington.
Covington has just been a powerhouse ever since I was a little kid, and you know, who wouldn't want to coach here? The continuity of success that they've had over the years through numerous coaches, Covington, the support, that expectation of winning a conference championship and going to the playoffs. It's just something that I've always wanted to be a part of that. You know, at Arcanum we had some success, we were part of that some. And I've always wanted to be a head coach of a program where you have that kind of support and backing, community support, where it's a football town. This is a football town.
Yeah, it is.
And you know, I've always wanted to be a part of a place like that and stay long term. And when you're, you know, talking to Al Hetrick, a guy that I idolize, he said that was a big reason with his success, keeping the same staff for a really long time and staying at the same place, and that's what I want to do here at Covington.
Ty, for the fact of the matter is you have played in the league, the Cross County Conference, you have coached in this league at Twin Valley South, and no one knows better than you the importance of the relevance of football, and we're going to use that term several times tonight, but the relevance upon the community in terms of the success, because if you look around this conference, at the schools that are perpetually winning and successful, that has a lot to do with the community support.
Absolutely. You know, when the community...
Hire all the coaches you want, but if the community doesn't support it.
That's absolutely right. The community, that support is huge.
Yeah.
And people take pride in a winning sport team, especially football, and a lot of money comes in that. And a lot of people come to the games. A lot of people love to know what's going on Friday night and come to the football games and be part of that. So the community here has been so great to me so far. And you know, football is such an important game to a lot of people, and it's important to keep the football game around. I mean, there's not a greater game to me out there in sports. Every sport, you can learn great life lessons through all the sports, but especially through football.
How important is it to be a young coach in football today? Because you look around this area now at some of the guys and some of the jobs they have. Garen Stokes up at Minster, Adam Miller, our friend over in Versailles, Matt Burbacher, who just took the job at Troy last year. You hear, certainly you want to be doing this for a long time, and like the old coach said, you know, if you get the right job the first time, you can be there a long time. But is it important in terms of relating to the kids and building a program and getting the community to start out young now?
I think it definitely helps a lot. And those guys that have, you know, done a great job as young coaches have given people confidence that a young guy can do it. And I think absolutely you can relate to the kids. The game's evolving, the kids are changing, and anytime you're younger, you can kind of understand what's going on with the kids. And plus, we can still get drilled somewhat, and I think kids respect that. Now, obviously, I've been gaining some weight. I'm not in the greatest shape as I used to be in, but I think kids respect coaches that can still get out there and show them how to do it, and young guys can absolutely do that. And you know, a lot of times younger guys are more open to some things where maybe an older guy isn't.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have older guys on staff as well to get those ideas from some guys like Dave Tobias on my staff right now. I'm so excited to have those guys to pull you know, information from that they've forgot more than probably what a lot of us young guys know right now.
It's important to remember too that once upon a time a young football coach named Tim Goodwin came to town and proved that young guys can do a pretty good job for you.
Yeah, I think he's done a pretty good job.
He's done a pretty good job, he sure has. Talked a little bit about relevance, and I want to talk about the relevance of football. And you mentioned a moment ago, and I could not agree with you more, that there are so many valuable life lessons to be derived. School's wonderful and textbooks, and it's great to be the valedictorian, except there are lessons that you learn in football, basketball, baseball, track and field, wrestling, whatever it is, that if you don't put that together with what you get out of the classroom, you may not be as successful in life because of that competitive spirit, drive, energy, and all those kind of things that make you successful. Football's still relevant that way to you?
Absolutely. That's a big reason why I got into it. Taught me so many valuable life lessons that I hope to teach to the kids. And sports in general, sometimes sports, that's the only thing that helps kids get through school.
Yeah, it is.
But all that adversity you deal with, learning to be on time, be punctual, just like in a job you're going to get fired if you don't show up, the teamwork, of learning to work with people even if you're not necessarily best friends, to set goals and you put in a lot of hard work to get those goals, and they're not going to just show up tomorrow. It's a marathon, not a sprint, just like in life. And so a lot of those things, the hierarchy in football, the seniors, and teaching it down to the younger guys, it's just like in life. So there's so many life lessons you can get out of football. And in sports in general, I'm a little biased towards football. But, it's such a great game. Anybody that wants to get rid of it, I completely disagree with. They've made some changes to make the game a little safer, but, it's a contact sport. We know that going into it. And yes, accidents happen, but there's not a better sport in my opinion.
This is not the most popular thing to say in our day and age, but it's important to learn the value of winning. Winning matters in life, and that's something that, particularly in football. I know so many football coaches say, hey, winning. Because if you want to win the school that you want to after you get out of high school, the girl, the job, whatever it is, winning has to start someplace.
Absolutely. I think that the way you winning football games comes if you're working hard, and you're winning in the weight room, you're winning in the classroom, and you take pride in the carryover. If you have that winner attitude, and these kids at Covington do, they win in year out.
Quickly, let's talk a little bit about something that's going to be very important to you. Dave Miller was here 9 years, very popular, great football coach, option football coach. You grew up under an option football coach, and I think you're one of those guys now that say we'll play the way our talent leads us. All the young guys now seem to be open-minded, but let's talk a little bit about the relevancy of the cross-county conference, because I'm sure, and Dave Miller said this to me continually, we want to see this conference improve. It's important that the other schools who have been in the lower tier of success in the CCC improve for the fact of what it does for Covington, what it does for Miami East, what it does for everybody in terms of relevancy.
Absolutely. If you have better competition every week, you're just going to get better. And that's why we do it. Our AD did a great job of scheduling tough scrimmages. And then you look in the MAC every week. When I coached over at Versailles, every week it's a dogfight. That's what we need in the CCC. But we've got a lot better coaches that have come in. Coach Schottenmeyer with Tri-Village, they're going to be joining the league. He's going to make them good. Miss Senowal got a really good head coach, and so they're going to be better. And all the teams that have been on the lower level things, right now I feel like the conference has about as good of coaches that we've had in a really long time. National Trails coach, he seems to be a young guy that's doing a good job over there. So I feel like the conference is going to get better, and you're going to see the dividends when we go to the playoffs. And the teams that go to the playoffs out of our conference, I think that's just going to make it really better.
You going to keep an eye on Shondo?
Yeah.
That guy could wear you out, I think I don't think there's any secrets you have on him. He knows everything there is about you.
Yeah, that'll be a fun game whenever we finally do play them. When they come to the league, we don't play them right away, but Coach and I are still really close, and I still talk to him all the time.
Ty Cates, the new football coach here at Covington, and everybody here is excited. Particularly in this town, as you said correctly, it's a football town. It's part of the culture. Generationally here, it goes all the way back to the beginning, back in 1947. It's been good most years since then, and I know everybody looks forward to you keeping it good, and we congratulate you again on the opportunity. Looking forward to seeing you this summer and this fall.
Thank you. I really appreciate being on. What a great opportunity and a dream job to be at Covington.
All right, Ty Cates, this week's guest. And that wraps up this edition of First Person. Again, as we mentioned before, sponsored by the Crystal Room in Troy. Give them a call to schedule your next event, whether it's a reunion, a wedding, an anniversary, whatever it is. You'll like the people at the Crystal Room in Troy. 552-7680. Talk to Jessica Brown and let them know what you think about their services. I think you're going to like them. We use them, you will too. Again, that wraps this week's edition up, and our thanks to you again for your continued support of what we do here on PressProsMagazine.com. For Coach Cates and our sponsors, we'll see you again next time on another edition of First Person.